I like to give them just a little bit of smoke. Just let them know I'm here. You want to work slowly. Break the little seal, the propolis. They really glue everything together. Try not to squish any bees.
Oh yeah, there's a lot even on the bottom.
Yeah, so a good amount of bees here. So we have some capped honey right here on the edge, and then it looks like it's mostly shiny in the cells here. So they're storing some nectar. And same on this side, mostly nectar, and then there's a little patch of pollen in there.
Oh yeah.
So this side.
That's why that beehive tool is so important, huh?
Oh yeah, yeah, it's tough to put apart. It's like super glue. So there's the queen right here. See her?
Yep, she's longer.
Yep.
That's great. I didn't know. I thought she'd be a fat little mama, but it's just a longer. That's awesome.
Yeah, a lot of times people can get them confused with the drones, but the drones are more short and stout.
And they seem to have more of a black, black
some
rear.
of them do. Like here's a drone right here.
Oh, okay, yeah.
See that guy? So he's a little bit bigger, but he's not as long as the queen. So this is good. We have a queen here. Let's just see if we see any eggs. I don't see any here. No eggs there. Frame of the queen we're extra careful with, putting it back. We don't want to squish her.
All right. So that's honey right there, right?
Yeah, so this is all honey up here, and mostly pollen in this frame.
Look at them go.
So what I'm not really seeing is a lot of eggs and larvae. Yes, maybe some over here, but there's a place where they could be getting honey bound, meaning they keep filling everything up with honey and pollen and not leaving the queen much room to lay eggs.
Okay.
Yeah, so here's a frame. It's pretty much completely empty. So it could be a new queen.
So that's what would affect not a lot of eggs or larvae would be a new queen.
Right, a queen who either isn't mated yet, so she still has to go out on mating flights,
Okay.
or it could be that during a dearth, during a time where there's not a lot of pollen and nectar, she'll stop laying.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a colony I'm probably going to come back. I'm going to give it a frame of eggs and larvae from another hive.
Okay.
And see if it is a problem with the queen. If it's a problem with the queen, they'll turn one of those other larvae into a new queen, and they'll get rid of the old queen.
Oh, I see.
So it's just kind of a good way to test to see if they're okay with their queen, or if something's not right and they need to replace.
Oh, interesting.
Want to look at one more?
Sure. Yeah, they look like they're getting a little rambunctious.
Yeah. So this was one that I had just split.
Oh, wow, look at that.
Yeah, so sometimes they'll start building on the foundation the wrong way, so we just have to scrape it off. because we want them to build it.
So how often do you check these? Is this an everyday thing?
I'll check them maybe every week and a half, 2 weeks.
Okay.
More so the bigger colonies, just to make sure they're not going to swarm.
Okay.
The bigger colonies I'll check almost every week.
Oh yeah,
they're building out the comb the wrong way on these. When they have too much space, they'll sometimes not do it the way I want them to. They don't read the same books I do.
I guess not, huh? Oh, it doesn't look too bad. Some honey in there.
Yeah, lots of different colored pollen.
You said they travel up to 3 miles to forage, right?
Right.
Oh, that looks shiny. That looks good.
Yeah, that's a thick honey frame there.
Yeah, it's making me a little hungry, right? You can hear them, and it's different when you hear them mad. Like when that one stung me, you could hear that they were getting a little bit louder, but this buzzing is like a calm, like we're doing our thing.
Right. Yep. Yeah, exactly. So this is one I had put a, oh, there's a queen up here. So it might be a little bit hard to tell, but she's a little bit smaller. So she probably still has some mating flights to go on. But she does have a group of bees around her, kind of taking care of her. So this one I'm going to give another week or so. See how she does. See if she starts laying. Once she starts laying, then we'll know that she's a good queen and that we'll expect them to start building up. I do want to find a frame of brood to show you though, so you can see the difference in colors.
Oh, look, they build right up out of there.
Similar here, I give them some frames of foundation to start with and a virgin queen. Let that queen go out and get mated, and so we start a new colony. Not much in this one yet.
Now you pick the middle one up because that would be where she would be laying.
Right,
the eggs.
I gave them these foundations to work on while the queen goes out and gets mated. And so usually that's where they're gonna be centered around. So they're just storing more pollen in. We can go back to that one that I showed you. This one has some good frames of brood in it.
Yeah. Again, I can't believe how small the little, you can barely tell that there's eggs in those little honeycombs.
Yeah, they're pretty tight. Like a grain of rice.
Exactly what I would say.
On this one, you can see eggs, or you can see the older larva in the middle,
Yeah.
And then they get younger and younger as you go out towards the side.
Oh, yeah, you can see them rolled up in there. Bunch of them.
Yeah, the queen can lay about 1,500 eggs a day.
Wow.
So yeah, she's doing pretty good in there. And then this darker is the capped brood, which
Oh, yep, and I see the larvae on the outside of the capped brood.
so those will all be getting capped fairly shortly. And then more pollen to feed them.
And this is the pollen, this orange colored.
Yep, so the pollen, they make the bee bread to feed the larva, and then usually around the corners is where they'll put a little honey rainbow.
Beautiful.
So yeah, so that's a kind of an easy way to tell the difference between the honey and the brood is the color. It's more of a darker brownish capping for the brood.
And you said this one's gonna be moving on to a bigger.
Yeah, because there's a couple frames. There's about 3 frames of brood in
Yep.
this one.
So the queen is doing good, and they have enough bees to move on to a bigger.
Yep.
Oh yeah! Wow.
And that's the queen up there. You see her?
Yep.
Right up here somewhere.
Yeah, I just see. Up there she is. Yep. Yeah, she's longer. Once you know exactly what you're looking for, you can find her.
Yep.
That's awesome.
So a good amount of brood on both sides here.
So I mean, with 3 frames filled up, you're like, all right, we should move to a bigger container. That way they have more space, and because there's going to be more bees working for the hive.
Exactly.
So you got to make the box grow with them.
Right. Otherwise, they'll think they've outgrown the space, and that's when they consider swarming.
And for those people who don't know what swarming is,
It's how the colonies reproduce. So what'll happen is once they realize they have a lot of resources and they're out of room, the existing queen and about half of the bees in there will leave to find a new home.
okay, gotcha.
And the remaining bees stay, make a new queen, and continue on the colony. So that's how one colony becomes 2.